Hello, my name is Rebel Black, and I am a human agronomist and metaphysical muse gifted with the art of guiding people to experience their deepest desires, to move through their pain, and live as their most enlivened, energetic expression. In this session, I shall be guiding you through a protocol called forensic healing, with the pure intention for you to experience energetic alignment and healing as a result of this experience. Of course, healing can only occur when all parties involved in the healing space take full responsibility for their own well-being and when they also believe that healing can occur. I want you to know that I have full faith that whatever it is that you are listening to this to resolve, heal, or clear can be achieved, and whatever messages, memories, or insights you gain today, you are ready to receive, and it will be in your highest good to heal and activate. I want you to know that you are safe in this healing. So please make sure you are in a place where you feel safe. Forensic healing does not promote the functions of medical diagnosis or prescribed medication. So please consider what is explored in this session as general in nature and seek further medical support from a qualified physician should you feel the need to. I like to describe forensic healing as a tool that helps identify, make sense of, and get to the root cause of any patterns that have played a big role in our life but are now limiting us, and to heal that pattern once and for all. Most healing is symptom focused, but forensic healing gets to the truth and heals forward and backwards in our lineage, allowing us to be free and for us to experience life in new ways. It is particularly useful for healing the root cause of any symptoms you might be experiencing in your life, including in relationships, career, finances, physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being, and in your life in general. As I work through this healing protocol, I shall be using a number of different scan lists to identify the key aspects of the case. You may hear me counting numbers, or there may be periods of silence. What I'm doing in those moments is using muscle testing to tune into the correct information on the scan list as it relates to your case in particular. The information I share as we move through the protocol may trigger particular memories for you. Trust that these memories are clues to the pattern and are often your first or one of your first experiences of the pattern in your life. And I want you to know that if something is triggered for you and you feel deeply or strongly as a result, you won't experience the feeling for long if you really allow yourself the time and space to feel the feelings that come up and continue to move through with the healing. This protocol works really effectively and quickly. And I want you to remember you can pause this recording at any time and take notes, express the emotion, move your body, but I do recommend that you listen to the whole session in one sitting. It is now time to set your intention for this healing. What is it that you are here to be guided on? Is there something that is causing you distress or discomfort that you want to explore or shift? Is there a bigger intention you are looking for, or are simply trusting you will be guided? Please note this down somewhere so you can refer to it at the end. Our relationship to our body is really important in healing, as it provides messages, and we use it as a way to identify whether our healing work is having an effect. So, for your reference, please note down the answers to the next few questions, as we will refer to them at the end of the healing. So, can I ask that you please now tune into your body and scan with your mind's eye to see if there are any areas of discomfort or disharmony. Identify where the sensation is and give the sensation a rating out of 10. 0 being barely noticeable and 10 being incredibly sensational. I'm now going to invite you to get to know this sensation a bit better. Please just trust that the first thing that comes to mind is the right thing, even if it seems odd. When you tune into the sensation, what shape is it? Does it have color? What color is it? Is it moving or static? And what feeling or emotion does it tell you it is? Now we are ready to heal. I've already opened the healing case, so we will move straight into the forensic healing protocols. So please make sure that you're comfortable, in a place you won't be disturbed, and perhaps you have some water and tissues nearby. Enjoy. I'm going to be focusing on the today's feeling of being falsely accused and negativity generally and tension, and so relates to any physical symptom of tension. It might be a headache, it might be neck pain, lower back pain, anywhere where there's an experience of tension, and relates to that sort of negative emotions and also the feeling of being falsely accused or manipulated, and then the guilt, the guilt and the blame and the punishment that comes from that experience. I've done all the testing up of the scan lists, and so the story and the information that's come through around this sort of tension, bodily tension, and then emotional tension, and confusion, I think, is another aspect that comes through with this. Is the wise. So the archetype is the wise old man or woman, and this shows up around guidance, knowledge, wisdom, and smart. So feeling smart, being smart. So it's likely to be relating to an area where there's an intellect being applied when maybe there was wisdom required. So the next layers that came through were vulnerability and hurt. So those were the negative life patterns that tested up. And vulnerability says you've been emotionally hurt. You fear being hurt again. So you put up emotional barriers that disconnect you from getting close to people. And hurt says you experience deep hurt from other people who betrayed you. This pain is ingrained in your heart and carries feelings of heaviness and emotional pain. The emotion that came through was disempowered, and the positive opposite of that is empowered. And the belief system that came through as a negative is power. That makes sense for that sort of sense of feeling disempowered. But actually, power at the moment is a struggle. It's a challenge. It's negative. It's playing negatively in the context of this tension and the feeling of false accusation, being manipulated, feeling guilty, not feeling like your best is good enough, feeling confusion around that. So not all areas of your life, but just very specifically, there's a negative power dynamic at play here. You're trying to, I would say, have power over instead of being empowered. And the quest for power is eluding you because you really, really want it, whether you're aware of that or not. But in this dynamic, that's what's happening. It tested up at age 17, and I wasn't guided to test any earlier, which often I am. So it's very clearly age 17, which of course is a big age, a lot going on. Some people will have been leaving home, will have left home, be out on their own. Some will be at that sort of transition phase in later years of school. Of course, it's a time where we're really looking for our identity, trying to figure out who we are in our multiple contexts, family, work, school. And so it would make sense that this sort of feeling of tension, confusion, overwhelm, potential false accusation, being other people saying that you did things when you didn't, or you didn't think you did, and not feeling like you're good enough because you're perhaps at an early stage of growth, that can be triggered. So I'm not sure if anything comes up specifically for you, whether there's an incident or a particular memory that comes through for you at age 17 that relates to vulnerability, hurt, feeling disempowered, not feeling like you want your power back, you want control, but you can't have it. If there is a particular memory or a story that comes through, please trust that. If there isn't, that's okay. We're going to go to another level of detail. And you might come through, have a memory. Really allow yourself to have those memories come through for you. And if at any stage you need to pause the recording so you can feel those and express those, please do. These emotions are here to come to the surface and be expressed so that you can release them and let them go. So the next layers that came through were around a soul curse and also black goo and graphene oxide. And so I'm just going to explain that a little more. And sometimes these words are make no sense at all, but we'll try and contextualize it. So black goo, also known as graphene oxide or ferrofluid, it's the main ingredient in DARPA hydrogels, which are graphene oxide chips that connect with smart devices, the cloud, and AI. Its main objective is to control your mind. It's a superconductor of electricity. It comes from graphite, a natural form of carbon. It is exfoliated to create graphene and then oxidized to create graphene oxide. It can be activated by frequencies, music, EMF, 5G, etc. So the main point here is around mind control. It's around perhaps at age 17, being influenced, manipulated, inspired, ignited by a force outside of yourself that has taken you down a different trajectory or a path. And that really stands to reason around this sort of negativity, false accusation, manipulation, feeling guilty, the confusion that comes around that. Maybe you're at a time in your life where you're learning things that perhaps you hadn't been taught within your either school environment or home environment. Maybe there's a disconnect going on with the new information that's coming to you that at that age you're being perhaps shown other ways or different ways, and that's you're feeling the confusion around that. So for example, perhaps at 17 you're exploring other aspects of your physicality, sexuality, etc. And that may be in conflict with perhaps religious teachings that you had at a young age. And so there's a dynamic that's going on there that's causing tension for you. It doesn't have to be big, enormous things, trauma. It isn't always large trauma that embeds these patterns. Sometimes it can just be a moment of confusion or shock where you're learning something for the first time and it's really shocking and overwhelming to you. And that can then create tension. So be open to the smaller memories or the smaller stories that come through. We're not always looking for the big traumas. So the next thing that came through was around limitations. And then in the in the auric field, the energy field that extends from beyond us, it came through as the astral field, and the heart chakra was impacted. And that speaks very strongly to those negative life patterns around vulnerability and being hurt. And so at age 17, there was an impact to the heart chakra. There was an impact to your limitations. So it's like there was a sort of cage put around you on certain things. You perhaps made certain decisions, created limiting beliefs around power and how power is played out. And so you made some decisions at that stage that is now limiting you. The throat chakra came through in the in the chakra system, and it was the dynamic between authenticity and superficiality. And so it's perhaps there's some confusion going on there now about what is your authentic voice and what is superficial voice, and how do you reconcile the two, but also live into your most authentic expression. It seems that there was a limit placed on this, or some level of confusion, and maybe it comes from this black goo, or the manipulation of mind, the mind control that happened at age 17. And so what we're doing in this healing is really calling these things into our conscious awareness so that we can be they can be shown to us in a very clear and direct way so that we can free ourselves from them. So the next level of information that came through was around unemployment. So at a period of time of being unemployed. Now that may have been at 17, it may have been at another age, but unemployment is a trigger. You did it to yourself. So again, this is like external forces of mind control, but you allowed yourself to be manipulated and then you carried on the manipulation. So whether that be with beliefs that you just continued to think the thoughts around that were then coded as beliefs, whether it was just continuous thoughts that you had, whether it be a pattern of fear, a pattern of disempowerment, This is all things that are self-created. And I really always love it when the self comes through, because if you created it, it means you can uncreate it. It's actually a really beautiful place of power. It came through again that it happened in a work environment, or it happened in the context of work, emotional abuse, and that there's a genetic predisposition to this, but also that there was a physical impact. So it happened because of genetics, and that there was some sort of a physical impact. And so we'll do a healing on that in a minute. But it also, what really comes through is this, again, it's confusion is the dominant feeling, I think, and the tension that creates, that mind control. It's like, well, I'm being told one thing, but I'm seeing another over here, and I'm confused about that. Or I'm being one thing here, but being another over there in a different environment. What's that about? It's that superficialness that we're drawn to in the external world that takes us away from the authentic expression of ourselves. And then that gets confusing, and it's that external manipulation. And then we feel falsely accused of being different, right? Like we're this thing here and that thing there, or where we've been a part of different groups, different environments, school, work, community, home, at this age. And we feel highly vulnerable. We're very easily hurt, but it's very easy for us to be accused of things that we never did, by other peer groups. That sort of tattletales in the schoolyard, where other people are in that same confused dynamic. Excuse me. There's just some energy shifting. Okay, so hopefully this is making sense to you, and even if it's not, just trust that there's something in your field that this is making sense to. And we're going to move now to the healing aspect. And so what came through in the negative voices, the negative entities, was the anti-religious beliefs. And it says the anti-religious voices block church attendance, Bible studies, or pursuing our spiritual path. They become volatile to the 23rd Psalm, the Lord's Prayer, or similar, i.e. reports show that they react like worms thrown into a hot frying pan when reciting the 23rd Psalm. And it's like shriveled up, and, like tension is what happens when things get thrown into a hot frying pan. We get this massive tension. And so it's this sort of, I see this false accusation of, you're being told, don't believe that thing. Now, whether that's religious or not, whether it's interrupting you from any particular path, this is how I see it. Is that it stopped you from pursuing a particular path because the voices became so volatile, and then you were like the worm in the frying pan. It's all too hard, and I'm just gonna, it's like I'm shriveling up. And so it's a metaphor. It's a metaphor for what happens when we're in high degrees of vulnerability. If we think about the heart chakra, and we think about being put into the, out of the fire and out of the frying pan into the fire, when we're really confronted with something, shocked by something, we protect our heart. We get small. That's what our physical body is designed to do. It protects our heart so we don't die. And that's where, vulnerability, hurt, those emotions that came through, that feeling of then being disempowered, because what happens is then we haven't moved out of that state. We've remained in that state, in that protective space. And so we want to really acknowledge that in this process, that we've just remained in that state since age 17, and that what we're being called to right now is to be free from that. what the voices will say is you'll never have enough to survive. And so it may be again at that age 17 where we've got family, school, where we're wanting to pursue, say, a religious pathway, or we're wanting to pursue a creative pathway, or some sort of career pathway, and we're being told you'll never have enough to survive. If you go and be the starving artist, you'll never have enough to survive. And so we're really being coded at that time, which puts us in a high degree of vulnerability, confusion, overwhelm, where we're being pulled in that sort of authentic voice through to this superficial, way of being. You've got to make money to survive. And it's very overwhelming and confusing. And so if you're willing and ready, and only if you're willing and ready to let those patterns, those belief systems, those false identities go, then we're going to move together into the healing phase. So if you are ready, please say a big hell yes. Yes, I'm ready for that to not be the story anymore. And for any of the stories that have come through for you, the memories that have come through for you, it's time to really honor those, appreciate them deeply for the place that they've got you to now. But we're letting them know it is safe for us to move into a new way of being, a new state of being that is more free and more liberated, have a sense of ease and worthiness. So the first healing we're going to do, you're going to repeat these statements after me. We're going to clear those the parasitic entities, and then we'll move into another healing and whatever comes through. So when I use my name, you use yours, and just repeat after me. I, Rebel, cancel, void, and reject the parasitic demonic entity causing the effect of anti-religious beliefs and anti-authentic beliefs. I, Rebel, reject and refuse the lies the parasitic entity voices tell me that I'll never have enough to survive. I acknowledge the lies and deception of this parasitic entity and reclaim control over my mind, thoughts, sovereignty, birthright, and divinity. I reclaim the truth that there is always enough, and that I will always survive, and that I am safe to thrive. That I am safe to thrive. I close all harmful portholes, gateways, grid systems, stargates, and access routes to my energy field, and refuse any demonic or parasitic entity access to my mind, body, and soul. I choose to live as a sovereign, powerful, divine being, and only accept information and connection from the pure, organic source energy. I choose to live in oneness with humanity from this point forward. I am blessed and I am free. Take some nice big deep breaths in and give your body a really good shake. If you can stand up, if not, get your feet activated, stamp them on the ground. We really want to feel the energy shift, flow. Pay attention to any parts of your physical being where you had sensation before this healing, those parts you identified. Nice big deep breaths. Let yourself look and feel funny as you do this. Get into the vulnerability. Open your heart. Really let it clear. Still clearing. Keep moving. Keep moving. Yes. Well done. Well done. So we're going to do a physics clearing. And I just want to remind you of the value of shaking, really the value of shaking our bodies. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling really activated. My cells, I can feel there's an enlivenedness in my body, a humming and a buzzing. It's a really great way to change your energetic state, to clear energy, to reclaim that sort of sensation within your body in a positive way. So just remember shaking. So the healing we're going to do is a disease. There is a disease somewhere in the body, age 17, and we're going to test up which one it is. It's come through as parasites. So we're just going to clear that, whether that makes sense to you or not. Parasites come and go from our body pretty regularly, usually expelled through the stools, live in the gut. So there was a parasite infection, some sort of parasite infestation at age 17 that we're really going to let free ourselves from. So again, you're going to repeat after me, and as I say my name, you say yours. I, Rebel, choose to release the parasites relating to any conditions or diseases in my body. I choose to have my body physically aligned and release the related cause at age 17. I now choose to realign, reconnect, rebalance the DNA in my body so I am free and fully connected to my source energy. Deep breaths in. Oh. Shake if you want to, releasing those parasites. And we've got another healing. It's an emotional healing, which is good. That's what tested up as well. And it's actually come through as a sabotage release healing. And so we'll just see what sabotage this is. To family. So we use our family as a sabotage. One way or another, they're a part of this pattern, and the pattern of what vulnerability, disempowerment, empowerment, feeling like we're trying to get our power, but we can't get it. Our heart chakra, all of the everything. It's like the family becomes this sort of sabotage. And so we want to really liberate ourselves from that. So our family can just be our family and not be playing a negative role in this pattern for ourselves, and where we can just not sabotage ourselves in our own lives. So again, you're going to repeat after me and say your name when I say mine. I, Rebel, choose to safely release self-sabotage behaviors relating to family originating at age 17. I choose to be free and empowered in my life choices. It is my gift to be and live in my power. Take a big deep breath and just listen to these words. You are now free to go forward with strength, happiness, and power to reach your full potential from this point forward. Bring your hands to your heart and just breathe some nice, big, deep breaths into your heart. Let it know that it's safe for it to open, to release those hurts, to embrace vulnerability, to reconnect to the wise, wise elder that lies within you, to your authentic self, to trust and follow the path that guides you from within, knowing that you are enough, that you are here to thrive, that there is always enough. Well done. Beautiful work. I request healing sound frequencies to reconnect and realign your DNA, your RNA, chromosomes, wormholes, nucleotides, hypercommunication. I request the purification and cleansing process of white and gold, pure organic light, dissolve all negative energies and attachments from you, from myself, from the rooms we occupy, from the buildings we're in, from the surrounding areas, from anything or anyone affected by this healing. I request closure and disabling of harmful portals, gateways, channels, stargates, NAA firewalls, and access routes to other dimensions and realities controlling, interfering, or siphoning soul and energy life force from you. I confirm the etheric, astral, mental, and causal light bodies are cleansed and strengthened, and that all Sephirotic healing forces are activated and connected to the organic, pure, white light source for the opening of the crystal rose heart and activation of your diamond sun body. I confirm and invoke the Christ consciousness light and request the guardians and angels to pour blessings upon you for all the things you require to obtain your soul freedom and your sovereignty. I ask they guide and protect you and lead you on a path of empowerment to assist with the evolution of your soul and humanity. I ask that healing may continue throughout this time and you may always know you are of divine, infinite worth and hold the power and choice for your transformation. I confirm these requests have taken place and this healing is complete. As you re-enter the full experience of your body and surroundings, please just tune back into your body and particularly into the sensation you identified at the beginning of the healing. What's the rating now? Has it shifted? What is the shape and color? And what feeling is attributed now? If you think about the issue that you came in to heal, what's your experience of it? Whatever it is, that is perfect. It may be similar or the same or completely different. Perhaps the sensation is gone altogether. Just know that the healing is complete. Sometimes it takes a little while for our person to catch up with the healing that's already been done. So please be kind to yourself always, but particularly so over the next 48 hours or so. Drink plenty of water, ground yourself by eating nourishing foods, whole grains and vegetables, and move your body to support any further shifting that wants to be had. Our energetics can shift quickly, but sometimes our body and our behavior takes a bit to catch up. So please just pay attention to that and reach out into the Wild Women group if you require any support to enhance your integration. Remember, you are love and you are a powerful co-creator in your life, and you are here to be enlivened and to have fun. May you bloom where you are. May your bower be blessed. And may you always know your wild worth.